Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
And we get the back view of him. And I mean, it's just a mega.
52 yards is a long shot. Magnum PI, what we named him. No idea.
Just a magnum.
Yeah, just a magnum.
Come on cam last year. We said probably 150, mid 150.
Yeah.
Same doe from the morning come out with that 9-pointer.
Here steps out this 90-inch 8-pointer. You're like,
I'm like, okay, well, there's still a buck back there grunting.
Yeah.
And then out steps like another 90-inch 8-pointer. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm like, deer right there.
Yeah, like
and he's already
yards.
30 yards.
Yeah.
He was literally 5 yards from the base of the tree. Could have been, had a buck down at 1:40 in the afternoon, back there deep on public. 3 does come out pretty early. It was like 245, 24-yard shot, sent to combat veteran, and I tell you what, man, dude, it just smoked. We always get so jacked up when the other person kills. It's just almost like we got it done.
Yeah. And when you killed that doe, I was like, hell yeah, man.
And we come down here to Missouri.
I asked homie one more time, I'm like, is it a good buck? And he goes, yeah, real good, solid buck. I'm like, all right, boom. And the deer just drops. Sure. Super special to me.
Whitetail Legacy Podcast, bringing you back to the hunt and leaving a legacy. Baller Rut.
Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast, coming in your ear holes hard as AF. We're shoulder to shoulder in the trenches down here in homie's basement.
Literally.
Yeah. We
Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, we just recorded some absolute gangbuster whitetail material that we're going to release at a later date. But your guys are so jacked to hear this. You're going to get to listen to homie and my extra crispy voices this whole episode.
You're so jacked to hear something you have no idea.
You have no idea what it is.
is.
This is going to be me and homie in the studio or in the basement.
In the basement.
In the dungeon.
Yeah, we are
talking to you guys
the studio.
About the number one deer tactic we believe that is the key to killing deer. Big deer, small deer, whatever you want to do. This is the key. We've been podcasting for over 3 years, talking to multiple people, and it all comes back to one thing. It seems very basic, but once we dig into it, I think it seems more complex than what you guys think. So we're going to get into the people that make this possible. We're going to get into the show. I'm going to start off with Last Breath. Guys, the last 4 or 5 episodes, we've been hitting you with the Last Breath launch party, July 23rd. First of all, if you guys want tickets or want more detailed information about this event, message us on Facebook or Instagram. Say, hey, I want tickets to the launch party, or I need more information about it. We'll be happy to dive deep with you on there and just chit-chat whatever you got going on. But I just want to cover everything that you got. You got the free beer, okay? All this is free, right? That's the main instance. You got the free gear giveaway. We're not talking about we're going to throw out a T-shirt. We're talking about trail cams, tree stands, ground blinds, camo, big stuff.
Knives.
Knives. Big. You're not coming and potentially going to win a $5 gift card coupon or something. Like, this is legit stuff. Free films. I haven't even seen any films, guys. Homie hasn't seen them. Grant's the only one. So you are literally going to be able to see these films the exact same time as everybody else. You're going to be the first one to see it, and the atmosphere is insane. It's so incredible. People are hooping and hollering when the kill shot goes on, and the success and the high-fiving. It's really entertaining, and free to get in, free beer, free gear, free films, free big buck taxidermy walkthrough. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. If you guys want to go, let us know. We'll get it done. We'll help you out.
And there are guys coming from a lot of part of the
so
states.
We got guys that are coming from maybe someplace, so maybe you don't want to drive. Maybe you
catch a ride.
You can carpool with one of these other guys that are coming from a long way. So get a hold of us, and maybe you can make it a cool time. And there's a lot of guys out there with YouTube shows. They can make some content out of going to the launch party.
Absolutely.
We would love to help you guys out, maybe connect you with some carpools, whatever it takes to get you guys to the show, because we want to see our listeners. And if you guys watch Last Breath, we want to get to know you, because it's cool to know who watches your face on TV. All right, do you have Exodus?
Yeah, so piggybacking off of these last couple episodes, we've been talking about Amazon and Exodus cams being available through Amazon. And I got one.
Yeah.
I got one. Of course, I had to try it out.
Hell yeah.
So along with the camera, also in there was a thank you card, which I took upstairs, and it had an offer for $25 off your next Exodus camera. So if you order through Amazon, if you leave a review, they're wanting people to review the cameras on there, and if you leave that and then you show proof and you send your proof to info@exodusoutdoorgear.com, they will hook you up with a $25 off of your next Exodus trail camera. So just throwing that nugget out there for you guys. Check them out on Amazon, and don't worry about any camera for 5 years. That's great.
I bought that sucker off Amazon. I'm like, I know why you're buying stuff off Amazon. This is so easy.
click, automatic checkout.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even got to punch anything in. It's all there. I just clicked it, and it was like, buy now or add to cart. I was like, buy now. Boom. Shipping. I'm like, holy smokes. No wonder there's a box on my door every 2 days. This is way too simple. All right, you got Next Level?
Yeah. We've been getting mineral site tips from Nate from Next Level. Next Level Nate. How about that?
Ooh.
And he wants to reiterate the fact that these mineral sites that are more secluded in the timber are going to get more daylight activity in the spring and summertime here, and then the ones that are going to be out closer to your field edges or out in the more open timber are going to be visited more in the mornings and evenings only. So hopefully you guys know the lay of your land and where the deer are typically bedding, and you can kind of set up your mineral sites to be close to them and get some good pics here of them in daylight. So
yeah, especially if you want to hunt over it. Once you get one of these established, it's not like you just pick it up and move it over here.
Yes.
It's established.
All right, don't go over there anymore.
Yeah, don't go over there anymore. Come over here. So once you picking the spot, I think, is something that is way more important than we realize.
Than just going out and dumping some shit on the ground. Just
going out and dumping on the ground and be like, okay, this is where I'm gonna go. But you gotta, because it's permanent. It's not permanent, but it's at least a couple years they're gonna be hitting this stuff. So definitely a good tip to kind of prioritize it towards somewhere that you potentially might want to hunt or potentially have these deer in daylight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well that's it. We're gonna get in the show. So you guys have been wondering from the intro what we got in these tiny brains of ours for the number one tactic of how to kill these deer, okay?
All right, you're going to say this, and it's going to be the shortest podcast we've ever done.
Yeah, it's going to be 9 minutes. Okay, so the number one tactic, and like I said, this is going to seem very simple to a lot of guys out there. They're going to be like, okay, I'm not listening to this. The name was very dishonest.
Right.
It is literally going and hunting, okay? I know it sounds simple. Let's break it down to you. Okay, we've listened to, I don't know how many people talk about hunting. We've recorded podcasts, all our buddies. There's guys that kill consistently over and over and over, and there's guys that don't. And when you look at just going, it seems simple, but it's being consistent, right? It's just you're going. Stuff just happens out there. You can't explain it. You have no reason why it happened. By the calculations of your deer app or whatever you got going on, it shouldn't have happened, right? The weather was off, the wind was off, the pressure was off, it's the wrong moon, the guy drove down the road honking. Like, you have no idea why it happened, but it happened. But the one thing that did happen was you were out there in the woods hunting, ready to kill. That's the main thing. You got to go out ready to kill. So we wanted to break down some scenarios of why we think this is an overlooked thing. And the reason this kind of cued in my brain is I was thinking about some of our encounters, and we've had multiple kills where it's just like, just go. Like, that's the only reason I killed that deer is because I was just out there. It wasn't because I was skillful or whatever. But we had the podcast a couple episodes ago of the 252-inch giant, right? Mm-hmm. The guy had no trail cam pictures of this deer in daylight at all, right? And he had very random trail cam pictures of him at best. And he just decided, I'm going to go hunt in that area. It's 72 degrees out, and I'm just going to go hunt. Kills a 252-inch deer, right?
Yep.
So that was a just go because I can go, right? There's nothing in my brain that's like, man, I got to get out there. This is the money day. This is when it's going to happen. It is literally, I'm just going to go because there is a 0.1% chance that this could happen. And just going also coincides with something we talk about a lot, is making the time. Thinking about that right now. Thinking about what can I be doing right now to make the time to go. And it's not just working with your wife, working with your kids, knocking stuff out. It's preparing yourself for that off wind. It's preparing yourself for that I'm going to go hunting, but it's hot or it's not as good than I'd like. You need that observation sit. You need a plan for those days, and that's something that we never had in the past. Like if we'd had a east wind, we're like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? Like none of our stands are set up for an east wind, and then you either choose to hunt a stand on the wrong wind, which I don't want to dive into deep as saying just go no matter what. Like the wrong wind, just hunt. You know what I mean? You still gotta use your tactics in your brain and understand, but you might be able to hang a stand or have a stand for that east wind or that south wind or southeast. What the hell's up with all the southeast?
I don't know.
The last 2 years.
It was pretty.
Ton of southeast. Like that is terrible. Absolute terrible for most all the stuff. We got like one tree line that we can hunt. But anyways, we have a plan
it's
for
actually
a
pretty good spot. Though.
Yeah, we have a plan now for a southeast.
Actually, a really good spot.
We have a plan for a southeast, and that's something about just going. We talk about preparing your kids or working with your wife, getting the honey-do list done, but you can also prepare those stands, make sure that, not just, I'm going to go hang it, make sure the tree limbs are cut. That's something that we talk about, and we failed, and we went out and we did it. We just smoked all the stuff. We're like, okay, if we're going to be hunting on this tree, this is a stand we've hunted like, twice? And the one time that we were in it, we're like, we can't do anything out of this tree.
And twice.
Yeah, and we hunted on one of those weird winds where we're like, we'll just throw it up and hunt it, whatever. But then you do hunt it, and you're like, I didn't put any time in on trimming anything. So just be prepared. Make the time to where if you have that off wind, you can be out there, because that's sometimes what it takes. You just got to be out there. So now I want to dive in just a couple stories of me just being out there. So our buck this year on public. All right. It is 66 that morning. It's hot as hell, right? It's getting up to 70?
High 70s.
High 70s, like 60, 76, 78, somewhere in there. Almost 80 degrees in November, right? No one in their mind is hunting. Like, we know people that are like, no, we're working, we're not going.
We're taking 2 weeks off.
Yeah, we're taking 2 weeks off and just ripping, right?
Yeah.
So the day before that, we tried to make a move. We absolutely destroyed ourselves. I was looking at my phone. It was like 9.8 miles because we were scouting and moving, and it's like 70 degrees out. We got the stand on our back. We're thinking we're going to hang at a moment's notice, and nothing that we're going into is we're not vibing with anything. There's other hunters. There's no trees. Stuff isn't working out. We do this big loop, and we hang up, and we were just dead. We hunt that evening, and we're like, okay, we need a refresh button. We could have literally been like, all right, we're going to hit a refresh button. We're going to go out there at noon, and we're going to hunt, right? We'll hunt the rest of the day, whatever. We'll go in. We got a 1.5 mile bike ride in. Then you got to walk in. It's a lot of work to just get there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have literally seen one shooter deer at this point in 8 days, and we seen him that was the one we were after. And we were seeing does and tiny bucks the first 45 minutes of daylight, and then nothing the rest of the day. We went whole days where we seen nothing from 45 minutes after. The morning before that, same thing. Evening comes, nothing. So we just killed ourselves carrying stuff around, and then we see no deer in the area that we plan on hunting in the morning. and we're completely exhausted at this point. So what do? We're like, oh hell, let's keep going, you know, and boom, kill a buck, 22 yards broadside. We very easily could have slept in, not went, but that was the only encounter that we had with a deer in shooting range in 17 days. A buck in shooting range in 17 days, a shooter deer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if we would have took that one morning off, we wouldn't have killed in 17 days. That's how important it is just going. Finding the willpower, finding whatever it takes, the motivation to get up and just go. That one extra time can really make a difference. I know in my past, I've been like, I'm not going this morning. The wind ain't right, or the weather's hot, or the full moon, they can be moving anyway. There's always an excuse when the bed's feeling real nice and toasty.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, I'm not getting out. It's cold outside, you know. But we took that many days off, and if we would have slept in that morning, we wouldn't have killed anything. So that's how important it is to just make it happen. Another story I want to touch on is my shotgun buck with my kid, okay? I'm literally just going at this point. The percentage of me killing a deer was like -10. We even made a joke about it. I was like, there's no way that I'm killing anything. I got this 4-year-old out in the blind, bouncing around, opening every window, but knocking, talking. Got the wife out there. We're packed in coloring books, loud as hell. He's watching videos. I'm like, not going to happen. But I'm out here. I'm making the memories, and I'm putting the time in to try to get a kill down. What happens 5 minutes before dark? Magically, a buck from 1.5 miles north, we have on trail cam, 100% proof, 1.5 miles north, just appears on our property, and I kill him. The odds are literally 0 that happening in my mind. It just coincided that I was out there, and it is pure luck that I killed that deer. I made the shot. That's the only thing it took. Make the shot, okay? But if I would have just been like, or
if you would have listened to him when he wanted to leave.
Yeah, or he was like, hey, I want to leave, and it was like 20 minutes. I'm like, hey, you know, the deer come out when it's really late, and we'd already been out there like 3 or 4 hours, and I was just trying to teach, like almost use it as a teaching method to say, hey, you need to set till dark and just get that instilled in his mind as young as possible. Because I know when I was a kid hunting by myself, when it got close to being done, I'm like, I'm not seeing anything anyways. I got 20 minutes back to the truck, and you're back to the truck at shooting light, you know?
Yeah.
So you missed all that opportunity's time, you know? And I'm sitting there and look out the back window. I'm like, oh, there's a buck back there. My wife's like, you going to shoot it? I said, yeah, I think I'm going to shoot it. Boom, done, you know, and killed a deer in Illinois that year. If I wouldn't have set that extra 20 minutes and just went with my kid, knew that it was going to be a junk hunt, but in my mind still tried to do the best I could at trying to get it done, I wouldn't have killed a deer in Illinois that year. We passed deer that year, but we never had a buck. I didn't kill a buck with a bow that year, only with a shotgun. So another again comes to just going. And then we get to your story where you go to one stand, it ain't right, it's raining, it's windy, stuff ain't going right. You go to another stand, it's messed up. You're like, a lot of guys would just be like, I'm going to the truck, it's over. So go ahead and go into your story.
Yeah, so when I shot Ghost, I had decided I was going to take a week vacation in October, and so I'm already dealing with the whole week that I've got. I don't have to, be out there every minute if I don't have to. I got the whole week to play with, and at the beginning of my vacation, it was going to be rainy, wet, typical kind of October weather there, and it's an evening hunt. I go out and I walk right by this stand on the field edge. I did notice some really big scrapes right there, and I'm like, okay, just kind of put that in the memory bank there. I'm going across the field, and I just am kind of looking at where the stand should be, and I'm like, damn, I can't see nothing. Get over there, and the stand's only like 12, 15 yards off the field edge, and the owner of that stand has not trimmed any lanes for it. He hasn't even been to that stand for like 2 years, I would assume. So it's all brushed in. You couldn't even shoot a gun out of that stand. So I'm like, well, that's not going to work. And I don't have a mobile set at this point because this is like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, go to this other stand, and it's not really set up ideally for bow hunting. And I'm like, this is not going to work either. So I mean, I've already walked a long way.
And it's raining.
You know,
And like you said, you have the full week to hunt. You're like, I already wasted half of the hunt that I plan on hunting.
Yeah, I've already walked
out.
by all the deer that are bedded over here if I was to go back to this first stand, but that's what I did. I was like, I'm out here. I'm just going to go. Like, you just get up in a tree and just, you know, see what happens. So I go back to that first tree with the scrapes right there along the field edge, and I'm sitting there just waiting for this rain to quit because hopefully about 4:45 it's going to stop, and it did. And then the first deer I seen was about 20 minutes after the rain stopped because it was shortly after 5. And here comes this buck, and he's working one of these scrapes right here at 8 yards in front of me. And he was at the very far north one, and I thought he was going to work the other two coming south. And in between the second and the third one was my window. And he didn't do that. He just popped right in the woods. Boom, shot him at 16 yards. You know.
Yeah, and if you wouldn't have been there.
You could have easily just mailed that one in and be like, you know, my clothes are going to be all wet. I'm probably not going to be able to hunt in the morning because they're going to be so wet, which is really when I want to hunt.
Excuses start piling. I've already been to 2 stands. I walked past all the deer that are going to be potentially bedding here anyways. And you could have just went back to the truck, went and got some Taco Bell, and just drove. That's about his old spot. Taco Bell is right on the way home. You're like, if I had a bad hunt, at least I get some Baja Blast in me.
Help
seal the wounds. But yeah, that just goes back to just going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just got to be out there. And yeah, as we get older and we have more responsibilities with wives and kids and stuff, like it is easier for that stuff to get in the way. But just like Cody said, you know, you got to kind of train him like, hey, this is what we're doing. We've talked about this leading up to season last year. Like, all right, October 1st, everything is done. You know, September 15th, everything is done. You got to have that shit done in order for it to hunt when you can hunt, or, you know, make the most amount of time available for you to hunt when you can go.
Yeah, and when you do have that time, even if it's, oh man, I got off early, I got an hour and a half. Like, you could either go home and sit on the couch and watch TV, or you could go to one of these preset stands, like we have the Moultrie set. That thing you can be into in
8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say 12, but I'm a slow walker.
No, you're actually fast.
But yeah, I mean, you could be into it quick as hell, like set up, ready to go. Because it's one of those stands where, are you going to kill out of that tree? Possibly. Can you see an ass load in that tree? Yes, that's the main thing.
Yeah, you can definitely get some good intel.
You can get some good intel, and maybe you're like, okay, I did see a buck go in there with a doe. Maybe I need to hunt in there tomorrow morning. Maybe that doe will be coming back in, and that buck will still be following her. You know, I mean, there's stuff that you can connect.
Well, actually, real deal out of that stand is You Seen Chaos come out of that timber. Next year, we asked for permission to be in that timber, put a mobile cam in there.
Yeah, boom. It's right there. Yeah,
right there.
So that observation set led to more encounters with this other buck. So that hour and a half after work or whatever, try to plan for that kind of stuff now. Get those stands ready. And like we said at the beginning of this seems simple, but when you dive into it, there's a lot more that if you look back in your past, you know there's an assload of hunts that you missed because of excuses or you didn't have stuff planned. Something came up that you should have had done a month ago. Because there's nothing worse than, oh, man, I got off an hour and a half early. I'm going to go out. And then you're driving home. You're like, shit, I should just knock this out. So when it's November, I won't have to do that. That should have been done 2 months ago. Mm-hmm. All the stuff that you could get done. And I catch myself doing that. Like, I'm going to try and knock this out. When if you can go hunting, you should go hunting. And I catch myself all the time. The wind's not perfect. That's what I always want to do. And that's something I'm not doing this year. I'm just hunting. I'm hunting the edge winds. I'm hunting the shit that isn't 100. It's like 80. 80 me, 20 then. And we hung a stand, just the other day where it's an 80-20. Like if they're 10 yards this way, you're screwed. If they're 10 yards this way, you're perfect. And they should be there, but they're probably going to be over there. But that's more the risk I'm going to take on trying to kill these deer, because that's when you're limited on time, you have to take more risk, and that's what I'm learning in my brain slowly. Mm-hmm. When I had no kids, I had way more time to hunt. I was out there more.
Yeah.
So I didn't take as much risk. But now I have less time. I need to take more risk. And hopefully one of those risks could pay off.
Here's another story for you of not being successful. You're getting ready to go out to hunt. You got a buddy. He's going to go out and check the cams on this piece. You guys have never been on this piece. First hunt, going to go out there. You got a buck hitting a scrape at 2 a.m, and as October rolls on, he's getting closer to a daytime appearance. And you get a perfect cold front in October. Your buddy's out there pulling cams, leaving everything else on the north end totally alone. And then you're getting ready to go out to hunt in 25 minutes after he goes there. And he calls you on the phone. Yeah, man, everything's good. And then next thing you know, he gets confronted while he's out there pulling cams by a guy who owns cattle out there on this property. And you end up, after a 15-minute argument, you end up losing the property. But we were so confident in killing that buck within 3 days of that time.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure that I've been more confident in seeing, at least seeing the buck.
No,
you know, I mean, it was pretty...
But you hunted anyways.
No.
Oh, you didn't hunt that day?
Nope.
You should have went somewhere else.
Mailed it in. Should have went in.
You mailed it in.
Yep.
That was a devastating blow, though.
Yeah,
but
I was like,
you mailed it in. You could have been somewhere else. Boom, could have killed. You know what I mean?
I was not successful that night.
Yeah, it was not successful. But yeah,
could have went to some...
That was like the most textbook buck we've ever had. Consistently knew where he was bedding, consistently hitting a scrape, like right on the edge. Cold front hits. You're like, what more do I need? Like,
we should have left that mobile game to see what happened.
Yeah, oh God! If he would have been on there, I'd have been like, we should have hunted it anyways that day.
Yeah,
we didn't lose it that day. He just said, "I want you guys out of there." And I talked to the landowner 3 days, and we didn't really lose it. We just decided to, you know what I mean? We could have been there, but we weaned her down. Made an excuse. But yeah, that just goes to show you. You should have went out that night. So
I should have.
You probably would have crushed.
Probably would have been prime film.
Yeah, it would have been perfect lighting.
Everything would have been sweet.
You would have got lucky. That's what you need.
Exactly, because I was out there.
Yeah, because you're out there. Another one. You guys have heard it if you listen to this podcast long enough. Freeze, right? I go out. I'm hunting this spot, and I see no deer. Full day sit. See no deer. Right? I seen deer in the morning. And then,
because that's when the neighbor shot 54 times.
Yeah, and then seeing no deer from like 8 till dark and never left. What do? I think I'll go back to the same stand. That seems to be the money spot. Wrong wind.
Yeah.
Go in there. And literally I was just like, I'm just going to go. Like that's pretty much exactly what I said. Kill a 193-inch deer. I just went. We knew the deer was in the area. You could have killed him. I could have killed him. Had no idea. Went out there on just a going. I could have easily been like, all right, I seen no deer yesterday all day back there. I'm going to go somewhere else, or I'm not going to go, or, I'm going to sleep in this morning and go out, try a different spot. I'm just going to go.
Friday, while you're walking out, you drug a buck out for the neighbor.
Yeah, Friday, the day before that, I drug a buck out. I think that's what we...
And he had only been there for
you got to get your hands on another dude's deer that's killed and then drag it a little ways for him, and then you're killed. That's another secret tip.
Did you drag one this year? You dragged that old dude.
Yeah, but I drug the public land buck backwards. Remember?
Backwards.
I drug it 3 foot the wrong direction on the guy. I don't know if we ever covered that story on here, but absolute epic story that happened to us this year that if we told you, you would never believe it. But I drug the deer the opposite direction of the parking lot. 3 foot, just 3 foot. I knew the guy. I'm like, I'm just making it a little harder on you guys. 3 foot.
Oh, that.
Yeah. It's finally clicking on him now.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think we ever told that story, did we?
No.
All right.
I did watch that film last night though.
Okay, so I think this is the first time we ever told the story.
Hey, that's actually a good going.
Yeah,
that's actually
That's just a good going.
Just start with the start at the top there going.
So this is a hunt where we were like, okay, we ain't got nothing going on right now. We had just lost our lease where we planned on hunting this cold front that was coming in.
That was the day before, yeah.
Yeah.
Thursday.
And
then this is
we
Friday.
had just lost our 160-acre lease with killable giants on it. And found a 90-inch clean 5-point sight out there during shed season. Absolute devastating blow. Anyways, we're like, well, what are we going to do? Let's just go as far on this public piece as we possibly can that we've never been on in our whole entire lives.
This is after we couldn't get on the first two spots.
Oh, yeah. We went to the first public. It was closed for hunting. So we left that spot, and we were like, okay, what are we going to do? Well, let's just go deep as hell back here. So we could have easily been like, all right, I lost my lease yesterday. This public land's closed. I just drove all the way here. I'm just going to go home and call it a wash. And we ended up getting that late as hell. We were ending up there late,
so late
because we had tried to go 2 other places, and they were closed. So we were driving to this third place at this point.
That's why he's like, these guys are in here late as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, and we swoop way back in here, and we're taking our time scouting, and it's looking good, looking better. And I'm like, I just want to get right over this ridge. And we hang the stand, and dude, that tree.
It kicked your ass.
It kicked my ass. For some reason, I did not tie off with the tether right off the bat. Because once I tied off with the rope, boom, done. But it's one of those trees, if you've ever hang and hunted, it just leans forward just a little bit, and you're trying to get the tree on that forward side. Man, it's tough.
Good to hunt out of, hard to hang in.
Yeah, it's tough, you know. And we get hung up, we're sitting there, and we'll have to tell the end part because it's freaking hilarious. But anyways, we're sitting there, and at this point, I'm like, man, it's looking, we're in here. We still got like an hour and a half. It's looking pretty good. Man, no, we're out here. We just got our ass beat by losing our lease and all this stuff. But we're out here. That's the main thing. We're out here. We're hunting cold front. Magic can happen. Out of nowhere, 75 yards away, about 75, right? 75, 80, right?
Yeah, 80, yeah.
So I see some movement. I'm like, oh, okay, checking it out. Then out of nowhere, red Luminok flying out of this tree hits this buck square in the ass. Not like back ass, like side ass, like direct side ass, right? Gets like 4 inches of penetration. I'm like, what? At first, I'm like, what just happened? And then you see the buck. I'm like, man, that's a solid buck. And the homie's like, someone just shot that deer. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what the red light that I see. And he's stumbling. Dude goes 35 yards from us and crashes and dies. That's like a mid 150s, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, what in the hell? And we're probably like 150 from the private. So in our mind, we're like, there is nobody back here on the public. The private's real easy to get to. Someone probably came in from the private and got up in this public and was hunting it.
Right.
And no. Some dude was in there in a ladder stand that was a dude from Florida's. Wasn't even his ladder stand. Went in there, first time ever hunting back there. Watched us hang 70 yards from us. Never knew he was there. Was thinking that we were dumb as hell because we had T-shirts on because it was hot. We were hot from hanging, so you don't carry all your stands and stuff with all your long camo on, right? And deer's on a straight beeline to us. He shoots it, dies 35 yards from us. He gets down, and we know the dude. I'm like, what the hell? We're out here podunk as hell. Didn't even know this guy hunted on this piece. Hunting out of some stand that ain't his. Ass shoots a 150 dead, 35 yards
Did you
from
see
us.
how big his book bag was?
Yeah.
Dude had a pouch.
Yeah. Dude's got, we're back there, full gear, everything, and deer dies right in front of us. At this point, he's out of the tree. We still got like an hour left of hunting. I'm like, well, it's over. He just killed a buck. He's down walking around talking on the phone. I'm like, we might as well get down, check out the buck with him. We get down, take all our shit out. We set for like 22 minutes probably. Take all our stuff down, and it would be unbelievable, but we got the whole thing on film. So you guys can't be like, this is straight bullshit. We got the whole thing. We got the deer stumbling and crashing with a Luminok out of its ass.
He's
on
standing
film.
on the hillside, just standing there.
Just wobbling.
And he's trying to assess like what's going on.
Yeah.
And then he just starts crashing down the hill. I'm like, oh, okay, he's getting the weak legs, you know. And then he comes down here to the flat after he crosses
And then I'm
the
like,
creek.
I'm gonna finish this thing off for him. He's getting closer and closer to us.
And then, yeah, just like Cody said, like, right. I mean, I could see him right there,
Yeah.
just down.
And I'm like, damn, that's a pretty solid bug.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, damn it. But yeah, that could have been us because we just went. You know what I mean? Like, if that deer would have came out, because he was on the line for us, and we would hit him with a little toot-toot, you know, a little burp-burp, could have killed that thing. Or he could have worked around that edge and came right to us.
Could have come up that ridge right next to us.
Right next to it. So there's a lot of opportunities there, but we were within 75 yards of that deer because we just went. And this is a property that we'd never been on, no idea what we were doing. We just went and hunted because we wanted to hunt in an area that we thought might be good. But yeah, that happened. And then we got down, we took some pictures for the guy, and then I drug the deer 3 foot in the opposite direction just because I was making a joke, and that's how I am. But we asked him if he needed any help after I drug it back, and he said he had guys coming, and they're kind of going to backdoor the deer out anyways, so
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
I don't either.
But yeah, that happened to us. So that's, like you said, another good story about you just got your ass handed to you, and you just went hunting. So, you know, all in all, we've been talking for a while here. Main thing is get your priorities right. We say that a lot. Make time to hunt. Prepare for those weird times that you got an hour or you got, you know, an east wind or a south wind or the weather's hot. Plan those days out right now. Be thinking about, well, if it was hot as hell in November, what would I be doing? Where could I hunt that would be safe, that I could still get some knowledge? And now we kind of have those spots where,
Because we went through it, yeah.
yeah, we can make that happen. We can go out there and we can hunt those spots, and if it pans out, we're geniuses. You're like, oh yeah, I knew I was supposed to be here. This is all coming together. But in reality, when people kill these deer, it's just because they went. We've talked to so many guys that, oh, I didn't think this was going to be the hunt, or we thought he was over on the neighbors, or there's all these stories, but they just went hunting because there's the slimmest chance that magic can happen, and then it happened to them. Because we talk to the normal everyday guys, you know, the guys that are hunting the 20-acre, 30-acre, small piece, whatever, and these guys, a lot of them we talk to have like 5-6 cameras. Some of them they don't know what's out there. They don't have a full understanding of what these deer are doing. They're just hunting, and they're putting the time in, and that's how they're killing these deer. So,
And oftentimes, some of the most successful people are like that.
Yeah.
That is, down to the T of what you just said.
yeah, they're just going after it and trying to make stuff happen. And that's what we need to get to. Is we just, like I said, the less time you have in the woods, the more risky I think you have to be successful. And I think we're getting more risky and more risky. And this year, I'm about to go off the hinges and just do radical stuff. And what if I look like a dumb shit out there all year and don't kill?
Well, you didn't kill last year until,
Yeah,
you know.
what I mean? Like it's only you out there hunting against yourself. People get tied up. Well, this guy's killing. It is literally you out there hunting against yourself. How much time can you put in? How much effort can you put in? And can you outsmart this? You need to either outsmart them or outluck them. That's the only thing you can do. You just got to keep rolling the dice. And one of those times, you know, you're going to come up a winner. That's all you can do. And I feel like people put so much time into, I got to shoot the right broadhead. I got to get the right stand. I got to be in this area. I got to have my trail cams ready to rip. That's all important stuff, but they miss out all the days that they're trying to get all that stuff lined out. They got a deck that needs painted or something, and now it's October 5th, and you're like, shit, I got to paint that deck. Like, you could have painted that deck and then could have took, 3 or 4 hours less on putting stealth strips on your sticks. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that you could do where you can make that a priority. And I feel like people get so gear emphasis. Oh, crush that word, right? Or did I?
I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
Yeah, they get so driven on gear
There you go.
and not on the time that they need to be in the woods. Like they're, my bow's not, my bow's not right or blah, blah, blah. You got to be out there. You got to be in the shit. Your shit's got to be prepared before season comes. And like I said 100 times on this podcast, you got to make time to go. That's all it takes. You listen to these podcasts, you try to get some secret tip tactic. I do the same thing. You're trying to relate to these guys. You're trying to connect the dots on the deer that you're hunting. And I just want, whether it's a first-time listener or a listener that's listened to us a long time, try to get 2 more days this year hunting. Try to do that. If you can do that and you're successful, you would be like, damn. That would just 2 more days. Because you got to think, I don't know how many days we hunted last year if we added it up. But let's just say normal guy that hunts with kids, what would you'd think 20-25 is max, right? Hunts.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing weekends and then maybe a week,
Yeah.
you're getting 20-25 hunts. So just do 20, then you're getting a 5% chance every time you hunt out of 100. If you can get that to 25, your odds are going up, If you got a 100% chance to kill of all year and you can get those, you can get 50 hunts in, now your odds are that much higher. Instead of, man, I'm going to work these extra hours so I can buy this tree stand or this bow and that's going to make me kill. No, take the time off and get in the woods because that's what's going to make you kill. Straight up. Your bow's got to be on. You got to be comfortable with your gear. We're not saying that. But that extra day or two could be literally what it takes to get it done.
What are you doing with vacation this year?
Whatever you're doing. I got 5 floaters and then as many AAs. Got hella savings over here. I practice what I preach, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready to AA it up.
I was thinking about like the last 2 weeks of October and the first 2 weeks of November having 4-day weekend.
Yeah, that would be prime.
And then drop in like a Tuesday all day.
Last 2 weeks of October, we need to focus on that more, I think. But yeah, that would be 4-day weekends. That'd be Thursday, Friday off, or Friday. We have to plan the weather.
That'd be 4, 8, 12. That'd be 16 days in 4 weeks.
Oh, off?
Yeah.
But be 8 days off work.
Yeah.
I could make that happen real easy.
No, 2, 4, 6,
Yeah.
8. Man,
I got that family vacation, bro.
Yeah, I do too.
We
July
only
4th.
get 2 weeks of vacation. We got the 3rd week next year, right?
Yep.
Nope. Game changer. 3 weeks. Everybody says game changer. Everything's a game changer.
Game changer and stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Coming at you next week.
I can't handle that.
Next episode, we're going to have the real tactic to kill deer. This was just a straight bullshit. No, I think this is legit. Like, we've been talking about doing this episode for a while. And at first, I'm like, man, this is kind of vague. I feel like people are going to think it's bullshit. But I think it's super important because if a person's listened to a podcast this time of year, they're really in the whitetails, really trying to dig for just one more tactic. Trying to get one more piece to the puzzle to try to make it happen. And my piece for them is try to make 2 more days hunting. You might not kill, but one day you see a buck do something. How much knowledge did you gain by that one thing that you seen out there because you were out there one extra morning? Mm-hmm. Or you hunt a brand new place and you see no deer. Okay, look how much knowledge you gained off of one more hunt that year. You only get so many hunts in your lifetime, and if you're trying like me, you're just trying to kill nice bucks for the rest of your life because that's what you love to do. Those 2 hunts that you put out last year on that bullshit spot, you're like, well, I'm not going back there. I'm going to go somewhere else. And then that's not even on your brain. That's just wiped out. Like, okay, I'm not going there.
I would say you guys have no idea how many acres we have just X'd off.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, the public that we hunt, we figured out that we can't we thought we could do it all, but we cannot do it all. We just got little nuggets in certain areas, like a little 20 here, over here, and just hundreds of acres just pink, gone. Because what did we do? We wasted hunts in there. We were like, okay, there's
wasted valuable trail camera time in there.
there's no way we can hunt this, or there's no deer here, or there's deer here in the summer, and then they make you feel like you're going to kill 200, and then they roll out. Like, that's normal stuff. I'm tired of doing that. And I'm not running cams in the summertime. I'm Xing that out too. That's gone. That's a whole nother podcast about. We'll do a trail cam podcast because we love doing it, but that's a whole nother tactic we're throwing this year. Little sneak peek. No summer trail cam picks for us at all. 0. I don't even care if I get one velvet pick. Hard horn or nothing.
All right, just give me West Side and Velvet, and I'll be cool.
That deer is 32 inches right now. 12 and a half years old, 32 inches. He's a brow tine and a main beam.
I thought you were going to say he's 32 years old, but yeah,
probably
he's probably
32. Yeah, probably more like 32 years old, 19 inches.
Yeah.
Deer's been going downhill for 4 years. This is his year. He's going to come back. Nope. Trash. Want to kill him, though, so bad. And we got the spot now. I got him. We got him. It's over.
Yep.
I got him. Got him pinned down.
If not him, there's somebody else going to cruise through there.
Yeah, we were hunting him on about 200 acres, and now we're hunting on about 2. So he's either there or he's not. Like, that's where we're at. But, all right, guys. Now we're just bullshitting.
Just go hunting.
Yeah, just go. Try to find a way to get 2 more days. That's my challenge to you guys. Just try to get a way to get 2 more days where you hunt. You know, I don't know what you got to do. You can plan it out. You can tell your wife, say, hey, this day and this day, I'm going to take off work, and maybe it's something you don't do, like November 3rd, 4th. Hey, if you told your wife right now, be like, hey, I'm going to take my weekends and stuff, but November 3rd, 4th, these guys on this stupid podcast I listen to said that I should get out more and do stuff. So I'm going to take the 3rd and 4th off and go hunt. And if you killed, you'd be like, those guys are absolute geniuses. Or you're gonna have way more fun out there than working. And like I said, if you learn anything, it's more valuable than not going. That's the thing.
That's actually a good idea. Just, I don't know how the weekend plays out in November, but take like that Tuesday, Wednesday, or that Wednesday, Thursday off, and get out there. And don't make an excuse of the weather or some other bullshit, but just do it.
I don't know what job you got that you could tell someone right now, hey, November, that Tuesday, Wednesday of 1st November, I'm not going to be here. I got stuff going on. I'm planning this.
Right now, you could probably tell them you're going to be deer hunting, and they'd be cool.
Yeah, you gave them 6 months notice of like, okay, I'm not going to be here. But that we wanted to talk about this, but we wanted to put out this challenge of 2 days. Hunt those 2 days and see if we're just complete bullshit over here, or if you do learn some more, or you do make a kill. Because adding 2 days, like especially if a guy who only hunts gun season or only hunts, only can get out there 3-4 days a week, or a year, I mean. Extra 2 days to him is season changing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's double the time, but take those 2 days, try to mark them out on your calendar now, make a plan, talk to your wife, talk to your boss, talk to your work, and say, hey, I'm going to try to do it, and I'm just going to go. No matter what, I ain't going to make any excuses. I'm going to make a plan of where I'm going to go, a place that I've been wanting to, or a place I've been wanting to try, and I'm just going to go, whether it's out of state, in state, no matter what. You're just going to take those 2 days and rip it. All right, guys. Well, you listened to us chit-chat long enough here. Like we always say, do the right thing, leave a legacy, and just freaking go hunt, man. That's it. All right, Whitetail Legacy is out.